Blindness is definitely the worst complication that we can have after filler injections, and that means that the filler has been injected in one of the vessels that have connection to the ophthalmic artery, that means, or the central retinal artery, the artery that is supplying our retina, so, or the optical nerve. And of course, as I said, the filler doesn't go by itself into the vessel. We as a doctor inject them. So for me, the most important ways to prevent, because prevention is always better than the treatment if complication happen, is really to know exactly the anatomy, to think that there is not only one vessel, that our entire face is vascularized, and most of the vessel really have a connection to the ophthalmic artery. There are some really high risk areas, everything actually that is medially of the mid-papillary line, and in this area is really better to use a big cannulas like 22 in order to avoid improper placement with the needle into the vessel, because we very easy can enter the vessel with the needle. The most common complications with HA fillers is definitely probably the over-treatment, you know, this kind of overfilled faces, or the chipman chases, the big lips and so on. This is, of course, can be avoided by proper placement and simply not inject too much. Sometimes, you know, filler lasts today much longer than they have been a couple of years ago, especially the HA fillers. 5 years ago it was just 6 months, and now we have 18 months, and especially if we repeatedly inject, they might last even up to 2 years. So sometimes we have to manage our patients and tell, you don't have to be injected. And another really complications of HA, especially of some products of the HA filler ranges, are definitely the inflammatory nodules, probably based on biofilms, or on a kind like an immunologic reaction, more like an autoimmune reaction from the from our immune system in order to reject the fillers. And we see that now more and more, especially as, you know, in aesthetic treatments we inject now higher amounts, we inject deep and not only superficial in order to address the anatomy, of course, but that means that the filler also stays much longer in the preformed spaces, and that these immunological processes can develop and cause some kind of inflammatory problems. Yeah, I mean, in the filler market we always have some new products, some new additional treatments and indications that we approve, but actually probably the best innovation that we have is really that we try to treat not a single area but the entire face, in order to really to reshape the face and to, you know, as a result have a more balanced, more harmonized face, that we don't concentrate only on the cheeks or only on the chin or only on the lips, but we really also look on the other indications like a forehead, like a temples, and really the entire face. And another thing that is maybe new is regarding the injection techniques that are really, and this is the publication that's going to appear very soon in the PRS journal, the work from Sebastian Cotofana, the anatomist, and myself, that we could show that you really have to use a bigger cannulas, 22G best or 25 at least, because 27G cannula is as sharp as the sharp needle. That means the penetration pressure that we have to apply with 27G cannula in order to perforate the facial artery or the temporal artery is almost the same like with the 27G needle. That means it's not safe.